Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, Wendy Sellers here, the HR lady. Thanks for coming and welcome back. How you doing, JC, up there in upstate New York?
Oh, Wendy, we're just hitting that fall time of year. Things are starting to cool down a little bit. It was a very warm day as I stepped out. Probably a solid 60 degrees today. I'm sweating a little bit, but doing good. And it's good to see you back from your long journey away from all those hurricanes.
Yeah, so in case the listeners are the first show here, I am in the state of Florida, and we've had to cancel trainings and podcasts and you name it, and then try to pick up on our life again because we've been hit with so many hurricanes. So I hope everybody is staying safe. Speaking of, change in schedules, that's actually what I want to talk to everybody about today. And we have an amazing guest here, Dennis Dowdell, keynote speaker and best-selling author, here to discuss mastering change from overwhelm to empowerment. Hey, Dennis, welcome.
Well, so good to be here. Thanks for having me, Wendy. I just love what you're doing, and what an honor to be with you.
Thank you. Hey, where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from just north of Dallas, Texas. So
okay.
60 degrees would be wonderful.
Right? I know. When he said that, I was thinking, yeah, rub it in. Granted, I don't want what you're about to get, JC, which is snow, which is why we're down here in the South.
Understood.
So Dennis, my goodness, your experience is amazing. You've built global teams of over 250,000 people by developing essential skills and sharing timeless principles across 50 countries. Wow, that's huge. I'm going to say you get your frequent flyer miles, huh?
I tell you what, I'm coming up on the 3 million mile mark just on American, not counting the others.
That's amazing. Hey, let's just jump right in and talk about change. Ugh, it's so hard, but seriously, why is change so difficult?
Well, to begin with, change is difficult because whatever it is that we're going to change, we haven't done it before. So, anytime we do something we haven't done before, it brings on forced growth, forced learning. And so we've got to be able to learn but it's so valuable for us because what it does is it allows us, to expand our abilities. It allows us to, like I say, it's forced growth. And, but it's also difficult because, we're comfortable where we're at. And until we get to a point where the pain of remaining the same becomes greater than the pain necessary to change, we're not going to change, And so we've just got to see the value and the purpose of what it is that needs changing and the value that that's going to bring to my life and the benefit that it's going to have. And once I've got that, now I've got a little bit more motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. JC just messaged me something. Change is hard because we didn't do it before.
Dennis was right when he said that. It reminds me of talking to my doctor when I say, hey, doc, this hurts. And they say, don't touch it. It's good advice, though. It's true. And speaking of advice and statistics, Dennis and Wendy, I got one for you. I'm going to throw you a curveball right away. A recent statistic shows that 73% of employees dealing with organizational change report moderate to high stress levels. And it makes it a lot more bigger of a factor as to why change is hard to manage. And that stress leads to resistance, slowing down, or even derailing initiatives for leaders. Back to you.
What are your thoughts on that, Dennis?
Yeah, there's no question. We always resist something that is going to be difficult or that we don't want to do. Sometimes change is necessary, but we just don't want to do that. I've never done it that way before. We've always done it this way. Why do we need to change? And so, that's why it's real important. I think that, especially in a corporate organization is, they've got to have the big picture. is to the necessity of it, and to be on board with the bigger picture and how the bigger picture, takes place over, some of the minor things that are necessary to do.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's interesting. Some people accept change so much quicker than other people. I'm one of those. I'm up for change all the time. But if somebody told me like right now we're changing, I'm like, whoa, I need a plan first.
It's absolutely true. It's, we've got to prepare ourselves. And I think that's an important part, and knowing that change is coming. And that's where, people have to be in on the big picture of what's going on, so that all of a sudden they say, okay, well, things are going to, if we're going to improve, then we've got to change, because, doing the same thing over and over again is going to leave you right where you are. So if we're going to grow, if we're going to improve, if we're going to develop skills and become better and refine the process, it causes, creates the necessity of change.
How do you, like, real quick, I know we have a lot more to talk about in the next 4 episodes, but for those people that are dragging their feet and saying, no, but I don't want to change, or, they can't see the picture, what's the one piece of advice you would give somebody who's managing that person?
Well, it's, it's almost kind of like the dog laying on the nail. The little grandkid comes up and says, Grandpa, how come the dog is squirming like that? And he says, he's laying on a nail. And he says, well, why doesn't he get off? He says, well, it doesn't hurt enough yet.
Oh, ouch. That's absolutely true. I have so much more I want to ask you and dig into. But for right now, we're going to wrap up episode 1 of our 5-part series on mastering change with our expert, Dennis Dowdell. So we're going to be going from overwhelm based on change to empowerment. And in our next episode, we're going to cover the fact that things don't change, people do. With that said, folks, I do encourage you to join Aurora Training Advantage to learn more about all type of things that affect human resources, even if you're just wearing the HR hat. We have in the middle of November, HR 101 for new managers and supervisors. And then we also will have a session by me on anxiety, stress, and PTSD under the ADA. So simply go to auroratrainingadvantage.com and check that out. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.